Dear students, welcome to our YouTube channel Vidya for Success. In this video, we will be studying some of the Setae concepts on the lesson Structural Organization in Animals. Is our first question, which one of the following types of cell is involved in making of inner wall of large blood vessels? So large blood vessels, they are made out of a kind of animal tissue, that is squamous epithelium. So why this squamous epithelium is present in the inner wall of blood vessel? So squamous epithelium is performing one of the main function, that means it acts as a diffusion boundary. So there will be a need of diffusion of some of the substances takes place in the blood vessel. So because of that, squamous epithelium will present in the inner wall of the blood vessel. It will helps in the diffusion of substances as well as it give protection. Clear. And one more thing, if you notice the arrangement of cells in the squamous epithelium, they are arranged without any intercellular space, and moreover they are flat cells. So because of all this nature, the squamous epithelial cells, they are present in the inner wall of blood vessels. Then let us look into the option A, cuboidal epithelium. So cuboidal epithelium made out of cube like cells. So these tissues are usually present in the nephrons of kidney, because their main function is secretion as well as absorption. Then option B, columnar epithelium. So columnar epithelium, they are present in the intestinal region. So they helps in absorption as well as some they helps in secretion. Then option C, squamous epithelium. So as I told, squamous epithelium forming the inner wall of blood vessel. So this is the correct answer for this question. Then option D, stratified epithelium. So out of 4, the correct answer is option C, squamous epithelium. Yes, our second question. To which one of the following categories does adipose tissue belong? So adipose tissue is a kind of loose connective tissue, because the cells of adipose tissue made out of fibers, they are loosely arranged. So these tissues can be noticed under the skin, that means beneath the skin these adipose tissues are present. The main function performing by this tissue is it is specialized for the storage of fat. Clear. So excess of nutrient which are not used immediately, they are get converted into fat and they are get stored in these tissues. Clear. So let us look into the option A, epithelial tissue. So we know the epithelial tissue is a protective covering of the animals. So epithelial tissue will be having squamous epithelium, columnar and ciliated epithelium. So the kind of fiber will not be present in the epithelial tissue. Clear. So adipose tissue is not a epithelial tissue. Then option B, connective tissue. So as I told, adipose tissue is a kind of loose connective tissue. Clear. So the correct answer is option B. Then option C, muscular tissue. So muscular tissue mainly helps in movement. Clear. Then option D, neural cells or tissue. So neural tissues, they helps in sending any kind of signal towards the brain or from brain to any other part of the body. So the correct answer here is option B, connective tissue. And our third question, which one of the following is not a connective tissue? So here you have to understand the meaning of connective tissue. So this kind of connective tissue will helps in giving connective link between different tissues, and it will also link one organ with the another organ. So because of its function, the kind of tissue is named as a connective tissue. So some of the connective tissues, they are solid in their nature, some they are fluid in their nature. Clear. So let us look into the option A, bone. So bone is a solid connective tissue because it is actually forming framework of the human body, and the bone is actually giving the support to our body. So because of that, it is called as a solid connective tissue. Then option B, cartilage. So cartilage is also a kind of connective tissue. So some of the body part will be connected with the help of cartilage. Say for example, the adjacent vertebral column, they are connected with the help of cartilage, so that it is also a kind of connective tissue. Then option C, blood. So blood is a fluid connective tissue. So it will carry some of the essential substances towards different part of the body. That means it will carry oxygen, nutrients, so like that. So blood is also called as a connective tissue. Then option D, muscle. So muscle is not belonging to connective tissue because it helps in movement. So the correct answer here is option D, muscle. Is the fourth question. The clitellum is a distinct part in the body of earthworm. It is found in. So earthworm, we know it is a segmented organism. In each of the segment, the animal will be having some of the organs for different kind of function. Say for example, locomotory organ will be present in some of the segments, and reproductive organs will become in some of the segments, like that. So here they are asking which of the segment in the earthworm consists of clitellum. So what is the function of clitellum? So clitellum is actually a glandular tissue. It is dark in color, and it will cover some of the segments in earthworm. Actually, in the matured earthworm, we can see the presence of clitellum. It helps in the reproduction because it will cover the fertilized egg. So this dark band will be present from 14th segment to till 16th segment. Clear. So based on the presence of clitellum, the earthworm body is divided into three prominent regions. So which of the uh, animal segment will be present prior to the clitellum? That body part is called as preclitellar region, and the actual region where the clitellum is present, that region is called as clitellar, and just below the clitellum, the other segment of the body is called as postclitellar segment. So the location where we have clitellum in the earthworm is from the segment 14th to till 16th. So the correct answer is option B. Then the fifth question. Setae help in locomotion in earthworm but are not uniformly present in all the segments. They are present in. So setae is a S-shaped locomotory organ present in the ventral region of earthworm. So some of the segments in the earthworm does not consist of locomotory organelle. That means the first segment, last segment, and the clitellar region. So except these three regions, all other segments of the earthworm on the ventral region consist of locomotory organ. Clear, right? So except the first segment, last segment and clitellar segments, the setae will be present in all segments of the body. Clear. So let us look at the option. Option A, first segment. First segment does not consist of setae. Then option B, last segment. Then option C, clitellar segments. So last segment as well as clitellar segment does not consist of setae. So the correct answer here is option D, 20th segment and 22nd segment. So except these three segments, that means first, last and clitellar segment, all other segments will be having setae as a locomotory organ. Then the sixth question, which one of the following statements is true for cockroach? Option A, the number of ovarioles in each ovary are 10. So this is not a right statement because ovarioles are 8 in number in each of the ovary. So the function of ovariole is they helps in the formation of eggs. Clear. So ovarioles are actually a plate like structure, they are present within the ovary. So the number of ovarioles within each ovary is restricted to 8. Then option B, the larval stage is called caterpillar. So larval stage is actually not present in cockroach. So this is also a wrong statement. Then option C, anal styles are absent in female. So this is the correct one because anal style is present only in male, not in female. This helps in the reproduction in male. Then option D, they are euryotelic. So The cockroach is not a ureotelic, it is a uricotelic. So the correct statement with regarding the cockroach is option C, that is anal styles are absent in female. So rest of all the other options are wrong statements. So the correct one is option C. Is the seventh question. The bone marrow is composed of. So bone marrow is a fluid region. It is present in the central marrow cavity of long bone. So this will be helps in the formation of blood cells. Clear, right? So there are two marrow regions we have in long bone. One is yellow marrow region. So yellow marrow region will be having adipose tissue, but a red marrow region will be consist of adipose tissue as well as blood forming tissues. Clear, right? So one of the tissues can be seen in the bone marrow is adipose tissue, and another tissue is areola tissue. So areola tissue is a kind of loose connective tissue. It is also present in bone marrow. Then you can also see the presence of blood vessels, because the nutrients and other substances need to be supplied from the bone marrow, so that blood vessels are also get connected with the bone marrow. Clear, right? So let us see the option muscle fibers and adipose tissue. So muscle fibers are not found in the bone marrow. Then option B, areola tissue and adipose tissue. So both will be present in the bone marrow, but we have to look into the appropriate answer among the option. So let us move to the option C, adipose tissue and calcified cartilage. So calcified cartilage is not a part of bone marrow. Then option D, adipose tissue, areola tissue and blood vessels. So all the three types of tissues will be present in bone marrow. So the correct answer is option D. Yes, our second question. To which one of the following categories does adipose tissue belong? So adipose tissue is a kind of loose connective tissue, because the cells of adipose tissue made out of fibers, they are loosely arranged. So these tissues can be noticed under the skin, that means beneath the skin these adipose tissues are present. The main function performing by this tissue is it is specialized for the storage of fat. Clear. So excess of nutrient which are not used immediately, they are get converted into fat and they are get stored in these tissues. Clear. So let us look into the option. Option A, epithelial tissue. So we know the epithelial tissue is a protective covering. Is the ninth question. The fibrous tissue which connects the two bones is. So in our body, one tissue will be connected with the another tissue, or one organ will be connected with the another organ with the help of connective tissue. So for connecting two adjacent bones, specific connective tissue is present. So let us look into the option. Option A, connective tissue. So connective tissue function is usually it will connect the tissue to organ, organ with the organ. So that means in our body different organs and different tissues will be get connected with the help of connective tissue. Then option B, tendon. So tendon is also a kind of connective tissue. Its function is it will connect muscle with the bone. Then option C, ligament. So ligament is also a kind of connective tissue. Its function is it will connect one bone with the adjacent bone. Then option D, adipose tissue. So adipose tissue is also a connective tissue, but it is subdermal. That means it is present just below the skin. Its function is it will store fat, excess of fat. So the correct answer is option C, ligament, because the function of ligament is it will connect one bone with the adjacent bone. Yes, our 10th question is ciliated epithelium is found in. So ciliated epithelium is a kind of epithelium. It will be having cilia on their surface. So because of the presence of cilia, the fluid movement takes place in a particular direction. So that the ciliated epithelial tissue is present in some of the hollow organs, like it is present in bronchioles and it is present in kidney and in the fallopian tube. So it will give direction for the flow of fluid. Then look into the option A, uterus and trachea. So uterus does not be having ciliated epithelial tissue. Fallopian tube will consist of ciliated epithelia. Then option B, kidney and trachea. So kidney will be having ciliated epithelium. So some part of the nephron will consist of ciliated epithelia. It helps in the absorption of some of the minerals. And trachea. So trachea will also consist of the ciliated epithelial tissue. It will give direction for the movement of mucus. Then option C, lungs and trachea. So here the lungs does not consist of ciliated epithelium. Clear, only the bronchioles will be having ciliated epithelia. Then option D, liver and trachea. So among the four options, the correct one is option B, kidney and trachea, because both will be having ciliated epithelium.